My Little Caboose, Blue is Magic, by DarkWing, Chapter 12, Memories. Well, Church, I guess it's just us now, Twilight said. Yeah, Church said, walking into Twilight's house. Just us. I'll show you to where you'll be sleeping, okay? Twilight said. Yeah, whatever, Church grumbled. What's with all the talking, Twi? Spike said, coming down the stairs, yawning and stretching his arms. Who's the new guy? Oh, this is Church. He's, new stallion in town, Twilight said. Church, meet Spike. He's my assistant and one of my oldest friends. He's also a baby dragon. You don't say, Church said. Spike and Church glared at each other apprehensively, seemingly trying to read each other's thoughts. Hi, Church grunted. Hey, Spike grunted back. Okay, Twilight said nervously, sensing the tension in the room. Church, if you follow me, I'll show you where you'll be sleeping tonight. If it's all the same to you, I think I'm going to go for a walk, Church said, walking towards the door. You know, to clear my mind a little. Oh, okay, Twilight said. Church opened the door and left, closing the door behind him. Twilight, don't you think that guy seems a little off? Spike said. What do you mean, Spike? Twilight asked. I'm not sure, Spike said. All I know for certain is that I don't trust him. You should keep a close eye on him, Twilight. Well, that's what Princess Celestia had asked us to do. Each of us got a stranger that we need to keep an eye on. Where did they come from? Spike asked. I don't know, Twilight said, looking at the door to her house. But I think I need to find out. What the fuck was Caboose thinking? Church muttered to himself, walking toward a stream. He then sat down and watched the water flow gently down the stream. For a moment he swore he saw Tex. He brought his hoof forward, reaching for her, but before he touched the water, he retracted his leg and let out a sigh. I'll miss you, Tex, Church said to the reflection, which then seemingly drifted away. Who are you talking to? Twilight asked, calmly approaching Church. Nobody, Church said. Don't worry about it. What are you doing out here? I came to find you, Twilight said. Why? Church asked bluntly. Am I not allowed to have some peace for once in my damned life? Twilight was about to say something, but then lowered her head, breaking eye contact with Church. Oh, sorry. I'll leave you be, Twilight said. Church watched her turn around. Listen, Twilight, I'm sorry, Church said. I didn't mean to be rude. It's just everything that has gone on in the past couple years is starting to take its toll on me. Have things really been going that bad with you? Twilight asked. You don't even know the start of it, Church grunted. I'd like to, Twilight said, intrigued to hear more about the stallion that she had to watch. Church looked in her eyes and saw that she was genuinely interested. Might as well take a seat, because it's a long story, Church said, sitting down. Twilight followed his lead. I guess it all started in a canyon called Blood Gulch. Church then spent the next few hours recalling and telling Twilight about everything that had happened, not leaving anything out. He told her about the freelancers, the Epsilon unit, and how it related to him, how he was actually an artificial intelligence based off of someone from the original's past. Twilight listened intently, trying to soak in as much as she could. She flinched occasionally at the more intense parts. She especially flinched when Church told her that he witnessed the Meta stab Tex in the face with the unit, which he thought had killed her. And when I finally let her go, the others dragged me out to be face-to-face with Carolina, who told me she wanted to kill the director, and effectively me, Church said, shivering. And if it couldn't get any worse, Caboose then plugged himself into the unit and ended up dragging me right back in, except this time the world was filled with bright ponies, and now I'm sitting on the ground talking to one of them. Wow, Twilight said, at a loss of words. Yeah, Church said. Wow. When you told me things were bad, I assumed you were telling the truth, Twilight said. But this? This is a lot for one pony to handle. Tell me about it, Church said, standing up, reaching a hoof towards Twilight. So, how haven't you, well, Twilight started to ask, grabbing his hoof to hoist herself up. Died? Church asked, which Twilight responded to with a nod. As I've said, I'm an artificial intelligence. Not quite a real person, but still somehow holding on to some degree of humanity. So you can never die? Twilight asked curiously. Pretty much, Church replied honestly. Do you still love her? Twilight asked. Tex, I mean. Yeah, Church sighed, starting towards Twilight's place. but I'm not sure if I would really call it that. I mean, I was programmed to love her, but that's basically how I feel. I feel that it isn't a real love, that it's being forced down my throat. Twilight nodded at Church, trying to understand what he meant. So, that's my story, and I pretty much told you everything I could, Church said. You know, I read a book about love once, Twilight said. One of the lines really stuck to me, and it made me think. Oh yeah? Church said, letting out a depressing laugh. What did it say? It said, a great love is a lot like a good memory. When it's there, and you know it's there, but it's just out of your reach, it can be all that you think about. You can focus on it and try to force it, but the more you do, the more you seem to push it away. But if you're patient, and you hold still, maybe, just maybe, it'll come to you, Church finished, smiling brightly at Twilight, who was smiling in return.